Hello. So I did my science center on what makes a boat float. I had both my children help me do this little poster. They wanted to be part of it, so I let them color the title of it, as you can see, and one of my children decided to make a sun. So that's why you see that big orange circle. So what makes a boat float is the main question here. So basically, if the downward gravitational force is less than the upward buoyancy force, then the object floats. My main question is right here. I posted it. And if an object weighs less than the amount of water it displaces, then it floats, otherwise it sinks. A boat floats because it displaces water that weighs more than its own weight. So that's the main question that I put in the middle right here. Right here I printed out a couple pictures, and this is just some boats floating in the water. Over onto this portion of the poster, I printed out a picture of a little boy and a girl, and they have a plastic boat right there. And right down here, I printed out a picture that says STEM, which is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Over here, I printed out a picture that's just a little saying. It basically says that some things float and some things sink. That's all because of density. The more mass and less air an object has, the more dense it is. Less density floats and more density sinks. The NGSS standards that I will be using for this project include the connections by cross-cutting concepts, which are cause and effect, mechanism and explanation, and stability and change. Also, for an NGSS standard, I am using physical science in buoyancy, which is that buoyancy is affected by material shape and stability. Now, I printed out two different assessment quizzes. Since this grade level is geared towards first grade, I put right up here, it says first grade. I did a simple on the first quiz, I did a simple 5-question multiple choice quiz, which is right here. Some of them are true and false, and some of them you can choose A, B, C, or D. And then in the second assessment, I did a simple 3-question multiple choice quiz. There is one true or false question in that, and the other two are multiple choice. So for for one of the Common Core standards, we are using math, which helps to solve real-world and mathematical problems, which involve volume. And then for the cross-curricular subjects, we are using math and science. So for the first activity, I posted right up here, and I'll read it off to you. Activity number 1, which will be that the children will explore the shape and materials of objects to determine the object's ability to float. To put it more simpler, the children will use their imaginations to make observations about which items they think will be able to float, which are in this bag. They can use an observation by using this notebook, so the teacher can jot down which items were able to float and which items were able to sink. Now, I put 3 different items in the Ziploc bag and just taped it right up. So I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see. I put some rocks in here, some pennies, and some slices of foil. And then I just got a Ziploc bag and taped it right up there. So for the first activity, along with a boat, a container, and water. So for the first activity, what the children will be able to do is they get the container, and we have some rocks in here. I already have a rock out. So the children will be able to grab the rock, drop it into the water, and see for themselves if it floats or sinks. So that clearly sunk to the bottom. So they would be able to jot down their observation in this notebook. The teacher would help them do it. And then I grabbed out a penny, which are in here. And we will be able to see if the penny floats or sinks. So the penny did sink. So again, they will be able to jot down their observation with that item into this journal. I also got out a plastic boat. and the children will be able to put the boat here, and it floats. So they will be able to jot down their third observation into this notebook. Now for the second activity, which is over here on this side of the board, I decided to have the children use the boat, and on the side of the boat there is some openings right here, so we can go ahead and add pennies to the side of the boat to see if it'll make the boat sink due to the added weight. So you would clearly need quite a bit of pennies, probably I don't know, close to 50 or 100, and the children will be able to use their senses to make a determination or a hypothesis to see if they think the added weight will make the boat sink. Again, they will use this journal to make their observation. So the materials for that would just need the water, the container, the boat, and the pennies. Now for our third activity, which is right over here, I put that the children will create an items that float book, which will be a reference for the students to look back on. They can use this same journal, and the teacher will help them create the book. You can do one side of the paper that allowed the items to float, and you can use the other half of the paper to write down what items did not float. So that's pretty much in conclusion to my Science Center, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.